Another live look from Chopper 11 near McCovey Cove this morning. The crowd's continuing to grow. So far, everything seems relatively peaceful. A few scuffles, but overall not bad as we get ready for the beginning of the Olympic torch relay this morning. Just down and around the corner from this place, NBC 11's Charlotte Filippi is standing by live. She's at McCovey Cove. It's the starting line for the relay today. Charlotte?
Yeah, you know, the atmosphere here has been absolutely wonderful. The only complaint is the wind, and who can do anything about it? Take a look at this crowd that's assembled here. Some of them have been here since before 6 o'clock this morning, all of them wanting to make sure that they get a chance to see the Olympic torch. We're now going to show you some of the world's media that has also assembled here. I was talking to a reporter and a photographer who've come in from China just to see this event. Now, of course, the torch is going on a 6-mile route around the San Francisco's waterfront, but it may actually be shortened. We've just learned that, in fact, the torchbearers are going to be carrying the torch in pairs as opposed to each one carrying it individually. So that may actually shorten the route. But nevertheless, the people here at McCovey Cove say they are expecting a great time. It has been a wonderfully festive atmosphere. No sign of any of those protesters disrupting activities. Of course, the torch relay kicks off at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm Charlotte Filippi reporting live. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlotte. A dramatic show of support for the democracy movement in Burma this morning on the Golden Gate Bridge. NBC 11's Lisa Bernard is live at the bridge, where hundreds of protesters used a torch run to highlight their political cause. Lisa?
Good morning, Laura. Burmese monks and nuns, Bay Area families and individuals just got to the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge this morning. A spokesperson tells me the count, 567 people, all marching to pressure China to stop supplying the oppressive Burmese government with arms. The march was co-sponsored by the Buddhist Peace Fellowship. The CHP was here in large numbers to ensure this walk was indeed peaceful. Hundreds of officers lined the bridge and the parking lots on either side. Bags were searched, signs on sticks were banned. Those who were here said they wanted to make a statement for peace. And back here live, we do know that groups from Darfur and Tibet also have protests planned for today, many of those along the torch route. But as you've mentioned, so far we've seen no significant confrontations in the San Francisco Bay Area. Live at the Golden Gate Bridge, Lisa Bernard, NBC 11 News.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. Now, speaking of the Burmese walk today, this one says Free Burma, a banner being pulled by a plane. The interesting thing about this is that there are restrictions in the airspace above the torch relay today, and yet despite that, here's a plane flying in that area with a banner reading Free Burma. One of the things going on, many things out in the San Francisco Bay Area this morning.
And some developing news throughout the world, Brent. The BBC now says British Prime Minister Gordon Brown will not attend the opening ceremony of the Beijing Summer Olympics. Brown has been under intense pressure from human rights activists not to attend the opening ceremony to protest Beijing's ongoing crackdown in Tibet. But officials from Brown's office were not immediately available for comment. They were saying, though, that Brown was not boycotting the Olympics and planned to attend the closing ceremony. At the center of politics in the Beijing Olympics is Tibet. For decades, the Tibetan people have been waiting for their exiled leader, the Dalai Lama, to return to power. Today, they're hoping their struggle gets another push. Followers here in the Bay Area hope it brings them a little closer to home.
The light clears the darkness.
Tupten Dondo lights candles every morning and prays for Buddha to guide his people home.
In order to improve your wisdom, you need to clear all the darkness.
Darkness fell over a half-century ago when the People's Republic of China invaded Tibet. Over the next few decades, more than 6,000 Buddhist monasteries were destroyed and thousands of Tibetans fled into exile.
Unfortunately, we almost lost our whole traditions and culture because we don't have a country.
And without a country, the future of the Tibetan people is bleak.
50, 100 years, maybe Tibet's gone. And whatever we do, if you don't have like a monastery like this, even less, maybe 50 years, maybe even less, younger generations may not even know where they come from. So they may forget Tibetans.
But as Tibetans fled into India and around the world, their beliefs and traditions became popular in the West. And according to Tenzin Taethong, a former member of the Tibetan government in exile, this twist of fate has allowed his culture to stay alive.
All of these have, added to sort of global appreciation of a people's struggle for justice, freedom.
And in small pockets around the world, the Tibetans persevere. Here, nestled in the foothills of East San Jose, is the Bay Area's only Tibetan monastery with just 5 monks and a handful of followers. This 3D model is Danyo's hope for the future, to build a monastery in San Jose, just like the one he lived in as a boy in India. But for now, this small, quiet retreat will do.
Nothing we can do our best here right now. 4 or 5 months trying to preserve our Tibetan culture.
Tibetans believe the wind carries prayers from these flags and sends them down to the people. And according to Taethong, these prayers just might be answered.
Well, I think there is hope for survival for Tibet, because 50 years of deliberate suppression and policies aimed at practically wiping out the Tibetans as a people and the Tibetan Buddhist culture as a living tradition basically failed, because people resist, people survive.
Stay with NBC 11 for continuing coverage of the torch relay throughout this newscast. We'll continue to bring you live coverage of the preparations and protests. And at 1 o'clock, tune in for complete coverage of the torch run on NBC 11 and on NBC11.com.
And we continue to follow several other big stories today, including hundreds of flights canceled by American Airlines. Going to take you live to San Jose's airport for a look at the Bay Area impact today.